26 of One Man's Opinion. Today I am reviewing the diabolically silly Con, the musical, a parody Trek-Tacular with music, lyrics, and book by Brent Black, co-conceived with additional material by Alina Morgan, and directed by John Lampe, running through June 4th at the Players Theater at 115 McDougal Street in New York City. So yeah, I'm generally not keen on theater parody, but after word of mouth and a bit of persistence by Campfire PR, I went ahead and bit at the opportunity to see my favorite Star Trek movie adapted into a surprisingly enjoyable comedy. Seeing Star Trek III: The Search for Spock in the movie theaters in 1984, I am a lifelong Trekker with a real soft spot for the original crew. I am actually in the process of rewatching the original series as this episode is being aired, so I, like many other Star Trek fans, hold the IP with love and affection, so there are a lot of hazards Black, Morgan, and Lampe could easily fall into. But it was apparent from the beginning that though this is a parody, Con treats the original film and the franchise as a whole with the affection of fans who intimately know and respect the source material. From a Trekker, or Trekkie, perspective, the concept is brilliant and coincidentally has a certain meta-quality as the show is set not during the second film, but in 2366 during the series of Star Trek The Next Generation. Lieutenant Commander Data, played by Julian Manjerico, in his further studies of the human condition, has studied thousands of hours of 20th century musical theater to create a holodeck-staged musical about one of the landmark events in Starfleet's history, choosing the events in the film Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. So basically, it's an AI-generated musical, which is brilliantly timely. The musical stays incredibly faithful to the Star Trek II plot, from the opening Kobayashi Maru test for Lieutenant Saavik, played with glee by Laura Whittanberger, to the Battle of the Mutara Nebula with Admiral James T. Kirk, played with staggering precision by Shyaporn Thirakustit, against the diabolical Khan, played by a perfectly chiseled Zachary Kropp. As Data is making this musical based off of research on musicals of the 20th century, it makes sense that the musical numbers reflect that. When the Enterprise is leaving space dock, there is a clever nod to Titanic's There She Is, with their own version called Ship of Dreams. There are additional references to songs like Chicago's We Both Reached for the Gun, The Confrontation from Les Miserables, and more. What's great is that, yes, some of it is quite obvious and great fan service for musical theater fans, but they are less copycat parodies as they are more homages to the songs, almost like variations on the themes. You'll recognize them, but you won't go through the entire song mimicking the inspiration the song drew from and be able to just substitute the lyrics. The cast was completely sold on the absurd concept of Khan, and I'm so glad they were committed to it, as the show wouldn't have held up without the necessary energy to pull it off. Manjerico is fantastic as the deadpan Data, but of course Data has to play several roles throughout the show as well, and he plays the parts as Data should be playing them, not quite capturing the humanity underneath those roles as an actor. Thirakustit is hilarious as Kirk, exaggerating the mannerisms of William Shatner's oft-parodied staccato delivery of his lines, and the hairstyle that he has is fantastic. I love it. Maxwell Nusbaum plays an adequately droll Spock, who happens to tap dance when he meditates. Kropp, though, steals the show as the titular Khan, where the only reason I can figure why he doesn't have a Frankenfurter as a credit in his bio is because he has been way too busy being a nurse for the U.S. Air Force before pursuing an acting career. As far as design, it's very simple, which is very much a budget issue, which I don't mind. It makes the presentation of the show feel that more silly as Kirk and Khan have their climactic battle over a game of Battleship. Con the Musical, a parody Trek-Tacular, is a must-see for every Star Trek fan who can find their way to the village by June 4th. I'm not going to say it'll be everybody's cup of Earl Grey hot, but those who have a passing knowledge of Star Trek will get a kick out of it, especially if you're a musical theater fan and love a good parody show like Forbidden Broadway. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below if you'd like to see Con the Musical, a parody Trek-Tacular. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. You can support my channel by becoming a patron over on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link in the description, and any donation is appreciated. You can also support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the national tour of Jagged Little Pill. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.